Ladies and gentlemen, you've made it. You've got here. You did what it did what it took to get here. You can already tell I'm pretty tired. It's been 2 weeks, guys. I've been standing outside of Kadri's house for the last several weeks. I've been shot twice, taken to the hospital 7 times. Don't ask me about the other 4. Breaking news. We have it here, Avs Fan TV people. Nazem Kadri has officially applied at King Soopers. He's applied at about 3 or 4 locations. That's what we know. Apparently, it's just to bag items. It's just to bag groceries right now. Nothing too physical. He wants to stay in shape in case he does decide to rejoin the NHL. He's keeping his options open. And you know what? We applaud him, the working man, the working class man. And that is the breaking news of Nazem Kadri. King Soopers, preferably in the Denver area. He is open to Westminster, also Littleton. I don't think he wants to go further than that. What we have it here, we've got possible replacements here. We've got people we don't want to talk about and people we might want to talk about. We have it all. Thank you for coming. Here it is. That's right. The Kaj man is in. He's not in. He's not in anywhere, really, is he? But we have it. We have all the dirty details, and we thank you for joining us. I am with my man here, Mr. Brennan. Brennan, I'll let you introduce yourself. I want you to tell the people what you're up to, put a few plugs in, and then we can do a few plugs later. Let the people know.
Well, first of all, it's sponsored by Fat Tire this week.
Fat Tire.
Right. And so I have been doing an internship with Full Press Hockey and have got a couple stories on there right now, specifically about the development camp that happened a couple weeks ago now. And then what our possibilities on replacements could be, cheap replacements for Kadri.
Cheap replacements.
And as far as I know, that's what you've got on the agenda tonight.
That's what we have on the agenda. Some cheap, dirty replacements. Maybe a surprise or two. Well, I thought it was a surprise. Apparently, others have been talking about this. That's what happens when you don't look at anything. Go through dev camp a little bit, and we did re-sign a player. Was it this guy right here? No, it wasn't. But we'll get to that. I'm gonna hold you in suspense. I mean, don't get on the internet. Let's start with the article, the interesting article you put out. You had some replacements lined up, and before we get to those replacements, I want to get your likelihood. What is the likelihood? If you could give me a percentage, put you on the spot. This gentleman right here decides to re-sign for the best hockey team on planet Earth ever. Don't look at the cup numbers, people. Just ever. Just believe us when we say this. Give us the percentage. What do we got?
For the Avs, I'd say 33%, maybe.
33%.
And that would be him taking a cut in pay right now because he's at 4.5 or was.
Yeah, which
now
is
he's at nothing.
Double. Yeah, now, like I said, he's bagging groceries right now, dude.
Yeah, he's applied for more of a higher paying job than I've got.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. You didn't have to throw yourself under the bus like that, but I appreciate you doing that. Just to kind of just get that out there.
Well, it's true, but I've heard rumors of him being talked to by Detroit was one.
Ugh, that's gross. That's disgusting.
Yeah, and it was an unverified source that I saw it with. I tried to get them to verify it, and they wouldn't say anything after that. and it was on the Tell It As It Is Twitter feed that they were saying this on, but they claimed they saw Kadri at the Detroit Metro Airport.
Huh.
Which, I mean,
Maybe
Detroit
he just likes a vacation in a shithole.
It's 15 minutes from Dearborn, so
Okay.
it's. I'll just say that, but it's Detroit's got the room to sign him right now.
Yeah.
And I heard Seattle was still technically in the mix, even though they're literally out of money. I've heard New York Islanders were in the mix, and that Lou Lamoriello has actually got him signed, and then was just holding on to the contract, and then literally just saying, "Okay, I'm going to announce it in September."
Well, with that, speaking on that, what's up, Anthony? Good to see you again, buddy. He's got he's still riding high, of course, on that Stanley Cup win. I don't know if that's an emotional high, Anthony, or if you're smoking the Chiba, brother. Either way, I agree. You got rumors are if he takes a pay cut, he could come back to the Avs. If not, I heard the Islanders. Yeah, the Islanders are front runners, and I get that because guess who they need a centerman that can play with Matty Barzal. Let's just get that out there right now. Matt Barzal is a beast, and when Barry Trotz came in, Barry Trotz, an amazing coach, Stanley Cup winner, a great coach. Used to always call him the no neck predator when he was the coach for Nashville because he literally has no neck. It's just a fat head on a torso, a chubby torso, and that's Barry Trotz with he's got some beautiful shoulders though. Not he's gonna wear shoulder pads. That's the rumors. He doesn't wear shoulder pads with his suit. And the way he coached the team, very defensive structured. Matthew Barzal's point totals went down, and they I heard it was a little bit unhappy with kind of the way he was playing. He wasn't able to express himself. Got a new coach in there. And I think they're going to open it up a little bit more. Having a guy like Nas there makes some sense. And Lou Lamoriello is, if not bald, is a very persuasive man.
Well, he's also the former GM of the Leafs when Nas was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been everywhere. Yeah, I mean, he's the guy. The guy's a hockey. He's got the hockey mind. He's a great. Everybody that's played under a Lou Lamoriello team, they've got nothing but praise for him. They like the guy. They really do. So I'm sure he's doing what he can to persuade Kadri. And for me, the longest it kind of goes, I mean, I'm kind of a little bit in your camp, that 35, maybe 40%, chance. I mean, I could say the highest I could even go is 50. Who the hell knows what's going on behind the scenes? Who knows what Joe's thinking? Who knows? Like you said, I mean, a move would have to be made to free up some money. Yeah. Well, I mean, but come on, Joe. I still say Joe. It's Chris McFarland. Chris McFarland has been brilliant, and obviously, but I mean, for me, it's always Joe. I mean, Chris McFarland, I think, is still going to say, "Hey, Joe, can I go outside and play?" And Joe's like, "Did you finish your homework?"
Yeah.
And then Chris has said, "No." And then Joe said, "Well, you're going to stay inside and you're going to finish your homework." Okay, that's what I'm thinking. How the conversations go. I could be a little off with the details there and the content, but I think that's how it goes. And I just think less than 50. I'm with you. Anyway, it's tough to hear, but the money available, like you said, there's no way he's taking that money. There's got to be more money on the table for him because even if he took 6, that's a pay cut. So, I mean, what he can make out there. I've heard Calgary still. I mean, for some reason, Boston threw their name in there. I'm like, they would have to do a bunch of stuff to make that work.
Calgary doesn't have room.
Yeah, I mean,
because Calgary still has 2 RFAs they need to sign. So the amount of the amount that Calgary has left on their space is 9.3, but they still have Magipane, I'm
Yeah,
saying that right.
Mangiapane. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mangiapane. Yeah.
And God, I can never say his the Killington or whatever.
Yeah.
They've got both those guys sitting as an RFA. I'm not sure if they're going to arbitration or not, but they still need to be signed. You figure that's going to take at least half of it, and then they're probably going to want to extend the new trades at Huberdeau and Uyghur. So
They're going to try.
Well, yeah, and so you figured that next year, that money's gone too. So that Calgary doesn't have the room. So if they want to fucking try, they can, but they're not going to. And we all know that Calgary's turned down a trade to Calgary before, but it was supposedly just to stay in Toronto. So, but there's got to be something
different
else
reasons.
If he hasn't signed with Calgary already, there's something up with that he doesn't want to be in fucking Calgary. We don't want.
Nobody wants to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I heard it's a great city. I heard it's a great town, but it's just like Calgary should just go for a rebuild.
I hear Calgary's got nothing but cowboys and hookers. That's what I heard personally. I don't know if that's true.
It's great steak, I've heard, but that's it.
Great steak, cowboys, and hookers. I hear they have top of the line strip clubs as well. I don't know. I've never been there. What's up, Boof? Calgary should go for it, then rebuild. What are you saying? So one last push. I mean, they do have some good players there, but I mean, you lose Johnny Hockey and Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah. And Tkachuk. I think Tkachuk.
And you got Huber, and you only get, so they lose their best two offensive players, and they get one back in replacement. Huberdeau's a great player. Don't get me wrong.
Uyghur's a good player too. It's just
Uyghur, but he's on the back end. He's on the. I'm saying as far as your offensive threat. I mean, Lindholm's good, but I think playing with guys like Johnny Hockey and Tkachuk lifted his numbers up as well.
Yeah,
he plays with different players. I don't think he's having a repeat there. Boof. Their team is old. Yeah. They're pretty old, and they just lost. Yeah, some of the Matthew Tkachuk, who probably brought that average age down a few years. What can you say, man? They're in a tough spot. It's been a weird offseason for them. Yeah, I think they got like 85 picks in Huberdeau and Uyghur for Matthew Tkachuk, which I don't know why Florida threw all those picks in there. They were just like, come on, we just want Matthew Tkachuk. We don't care. Take them all. Kind of like the Avalanche were with our draft picks in the last few trades, but
and then you mentioned Boston. Boston still needs to sign Pavel Zacha as an RFA and
Bergeron,
and they've only got 4.9 left or 4.7 left. Bergeron's going to take a big chunk of that, and then Pavel Zacha deserves a bigger payout because even on a crappy New Jersey team, he still did well.
Yeah.
Because he was making 2.2 through last year, 2.25.
So I think as it stands, just like Anthony said, I mean, Islanders probably most likely right now, but we'll see how it goes. But that's enough of the.
I'm hearing rumors. It's Islanders and Avs are the front runners, and like we both said, they would have to take he would have to take a big pay cut in order to come back here.
All right, let's welcome in our connoisseur of Avalanche dumb and drinks. Let's just be real. Our whiskey.
You missed my first night of whiskey, man. Come on,
dude. Yeah, I mean now he's on beer. He had a hard night of whiskey, bro. Bro, he went to whiskey and he said he had to go back to beer. Yeah, which whiskey was that again? Maker's Mark.
Yep.
Respectable. Good weeded bourbon.
Good weeded bourbon. we just want you on. We're just gonna eventually just throw random okay, what do you think about this whiskey? And you just put it out there. Now, if you would be if you could compare a player to a whiskey, Kadri, what kind of whiskey would Nazem Kadri be?
Oh, I don't know enough whiskeys, so I couldn't say.
No, well, this is our connoisseur here. I'm asking the man, the whiskey McGee. I mean, think of Kadri. He's a guy. He's a freaking gamer. He's in your face. He can throw it down. He's a pest. He can score. He can hit. I mean, he can do it all. He's very well rounded. Sometimes he gets suspended.
All right.
Better this year.
Woodford Reserve Double Oaked.
Ooh,
Well-rounded, respected by pretty much everyone, and gets the job done, puts a smile on everyone's face.
Yeah. I like that answer. Anthony, please.
Yeah, that's championship merch. Come on.
He wore this at the parade. I was there. I saw it. Okay, Anthony, come on, bro.
And
Come on.
an updated man cave.
Updated man cave. Boof. Any interest in a cooked JVR? No. 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 No.
Next
Good try. Yeah. I know what you're trying to do. Don't you push your garbage on us, Boof. Don't you push your filth garbage. Don't you push that on us. Let's go ahead and get into the Mr. Possible replacements. Let's clarify cheap options that we could fit and fill. Let's go ahead and start with this man, Ivan Rodriguez. Go ahead, Brandon. Give us your rundown on this, buddy.
So he was probably be my most likely scenario that he'd be replacing him. He's played as high as the second line and as low as the fourth line on Pittsburgh, and then he had a season high of 43 points. But we got to understand he did play with Malkin and Sid for part of the year, of course.
Yeah.
And then the main reason I'd be looking at him though is his face-off percentage is 47.41.
Yep.
Whereas Kadri is 49.7. So they're comparable.
Comparable. Yeah. Kadri's about 50 and he's just a slide under. Yeah.
Yeah. And we all know that Kadri got kicked out how many goddamn times. So, right. And
he's the best at getting kicked off a face-off. Yes.
Yeah. And then if you look right under the face there, his profile picture there, you'll see his even strength numbers and his offense or his even strength offense and defense. Those are comparable to Kadri as well. And then his defense numbers actually better than
Kadri's.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I think if you put him on a line with Lehkonen and possibly Nichushkin or Gabe, I think he would thrive, but that's just me.
Now you would have a guy. Alex Newhook is all we hope to be our eventual number 2C at some point. I think this year is a little too early for him. He still has to have a somewhat of a breakout year. It's yet to happen. The guy's young. I think it will happen eventually.
His first year, though, technically.
Yeah, right. It's just but he's a guy you want to see take the next step, and I think that's everybody what we would want. That's kind of our in-house filler, right? That's the kind of that guy in-house that's going to do we hope to do the job. I do think he needs another year, 2, hopefully max, to be number 2C. But we will see. So you would personally have a guy like Rodriguez here above, you would say you're more comfortable giving a guy like him that job over Newhook.
Yeah. And I think Newhook would be your fourth line center, if not your third line, maybe.
He should be third.
Yeah.
He needs to be playing better minutes, better offensive minutes.
Third line, getting the third line center than Newhook, in my opinion. And
that's
and I think that the most they would sign him at would be 1.25 to 1.5. So it's still cheap.
Still cheap. He had 43 points, career high last season, and which is about half of Kadri's.
Yep, you read my
article. He's half the player. And apparently he's half the whiskey as Kadri. If Evan Rodriguez was a whiskey, think of a half of Kadri. What is half of the, that whiskey you just said that I completely already forgot? Woodford Reserve?
Double oak. Obviously you just go with the regular Woodford Reserve, not the double oaked. It's half the oak.
That's half field. Okay, so he's just regular Woodford Reserve, which is
There you
still
go.
a decent whiskey.
Awesome
You know,
pricing
is
point
it
at $36.99, I believe. Last I checked.
$36.99. I hope everybody's taking notes. You guys are going to learn a lot tonight. So that's Mr. Rodriguez. Again, this is all part of Brennan's column, which I'll let you plug again at the end. We can get all these details, a little deeper dive inside that. Another one we'll go to is you had surprisingly a winger, not a centerman, but you had Mr. Sonny Milano. And I've seen a good bit of Sonny Milano. I love his age. He's still a young guy, quick guy, pretty skilled. 26. This says 25, or he's 25, 26.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Who gives a shit, right?
He's still young.
He's a young enough guy. You can move him around. He's played with Trevor Zegras a bit too, so he can play with some skilled players. Obviously, he can skate. He has a little bit of playmaking ability. Career high 34 points. To say a career high 34 points is it's not impressive, but Anaheim has been pretty bad lately for the last several years at least. And tell me why Sonny Milano made your list, not as a center. He's a winger.
Well, the career high probably came from playing with Zegras
Trevor.
first off,
Yeah.
and then also with Troy Terry a lot.
Yeah,
So,
I love Troy Terry.
Yeah, Troy Terry's a beast, but that's probably where the career high came from. Also, Milano does have a record with a former Avalanche. I don't know if everyone knows that. He got arrested with AJ Greer a few years back.
Oh yeah, AJ Greer, the guy that we had some potential that he was going to crack the lineup, be a nice bottom six guy, and could not stay out of trouble.
Yeah, that's how I knew the name.
Yeah,
and then he popped up this year, and I'm like, holy crap! But yeah, and then so he's fast, like you were saying. We could possibly throw him on the wing and then have Comfer move up, or Rantanen move to the center.
I think Rantanen at center there's a potential for that.
It's a stretch, but yeah. What do you think?
It's a potential. Whiskey? What do you think, Whiskey?
I think he's a Four Roses guy.
You think he's Four Roses?
Sorry, it's a type of bourbon. It's definitely a step down. I'm not liking it as much as Rodriguez. Rodriguez is much more well-rounded individual at a nice, attractive pricing point. Gives you something close to what you're losing if you lose something.
Yeah.
So I'm not a fan of this.
Yeah, it was just you're not going to be a fan of the next one either. No. But
oh boy, I got something beautiful for that. Yeah, don't.
Well, no, my other one, but
I got you.
And but I'd sign him for 1.7. Maybe as high as 2
for like a year.
Per year. I'd give him like a 1 year, 2 year, maybe.
Yeah. Another guy. Oh, go ahead.
What else did I say? Also, is that he sets up he's really good at setting up the passing, because you can see he's 100% there on the chance assists, and he's on high danger plays. So that's like hitting the slot and going in for those passes and going in for those shots. But part of that, God, who knows when those 14 games were tracked. But it could be like when those plays, when Zegras fucking flipped it over the net or something like that. But
right, yeah, some crazy plays made. Gotcha. That would be Mr. Sonny Milano, another cheap possibility just to add some depth and try to pick up on some of that scoring guy that can skate with the rest of the team. One of the latter guys you had compared, and I think you got some pushback probably, and
nobody said anything actually.
Well, I'm saying it right now with this gentleman right here,
right.
Cody Eakin. Cody Eakin of the Buffalo Sabres. terrible team, but they are on the rise, folks. Let's be real here. I think they'll be an exciting team here in the next year or two. I've always had a soft spot for Buffalo. I don't know, it's their announcer, who's is it Rick Jeanette? Great announcer, great play-by-play guy. Retired last year. They almost sold out the building, I think, or maybe they did. No, they think they did sell out the building. Maybe. Either way, before you give me your thoughts on the beautiful Cody Eakin, let me get Anthony's got something in here now. Now this is Patrice Bergeron. Now, Anthony, we don't have the money that we would need to pay Mr. Patrice, so we were kind of in the same spot as the Kadri situation.
Keep Kadri if you're going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% would love like a 1 year. I could just see it signing Bergeron for like 1 year. Ex-Boston legend, just like Ray Bork. We just go ahead and win the cup with Bergeron. I mean, I could see that, and I would love that.
Already got the cup, so.
Right, but you know what I mean. There's a connection. There's a Boston, Colorado connection there. I would love it. It's just not gonna. He's Boston or not. That's just kind of the guy he is. I think he's a Boston guy. He's a one team kind of guy. He's a legend there. Probably get maybe not a statue, but I mean he's jersey hung on the rafters. He's a legend.
I don't think Bork's right jersey should be up there to begin with, but that's just me.
How dare you? You shut your mouth. How dare you?
I am not the only one.
Well. You and your wife need to just take a look at yourself.
I'm not the only one other than my wife. I don't know from DNVR. He doesn't think so either.
Well, hey, I don't care because I'll slap Rudo. You let him know if you see him. Tell him a guy he knows nothing about will slap him if he sees him in the King Super, and then apologize because I will feel really badly about it. I shouldn't do that. Yeah, that's probably not happening, Anthony. I like the passion. Anthony also says he just rarely get a case of Milano's cookies. Ooh.
They're delicious.
They are. That's a for sure home run. The other one, signing the player, we don't really know if that's a home run or not.
Are those the cookies that come in the tin cases?
No, they're Pepperidge Farms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pepperidge Farms remembers.
Yeah, it does. It always remembers. Boof, off the wall question. It's not really off the wall, just not what we're talking about. Who's the best competition? St. Louis, you need to continue to watch out for. In my mind, they hadn't really strengthened. They've kind of
Vegas. Yeah, I think what's his face? The goalie Panda just got hurt.
Yeah, they need to figure out their goalie situation for Vegas. I think I don't know. It's tough to say. I do feel like Vegas, if their forwards are healthy, they probably will make the playoffs next year. But we're the more dominant team than them now. So best competition in the West, St. Louis for sure. Edmonton's I think in my mind, they got a better goalie now. Defense is still a little suspect. But they have one of the best players in the world, if not two of some of the best players in the world there. So I think Edmonton, St. Louis is a good shout. I would have said Calgary last year. This year, I probably won't. Brennan, got another team in the West that's possible.
I'd say Edmonton overall out of the three of those, but
yeah. Any underdog? I think Nashville will be pretty decent next year. They got a healthy goalie. They've got Ryan McDonough, who, Ryan McDonough is he's a solid top 4D for them. They've got that.
I talked him up, but I mean, it's Nashville.
It's Nashville, but I think they'll be pretty decent next year. As far as the best competition, you're probably looking at me at St. Louis, Edmonton. I think you're there. Adam, you got an idea on that? You said St. Louis
all the way. St. Louis is, I feel, more well-rounded than Edmonton.
Pull up that next comment, by the way.
Oh, I'm going to pull it up. Here. Martin St. Louis came in the store and told us he talked to Bergeron, and he is signing with the Bruins. Oh,
you heard it here first, everyone.
You heard it here.
Breaking fucking news.
What store? What store, Anthony? You talking
Didn't he
about
say he
store,
works at like
store you work
Pure
at?
Hockey?
Do you work at Pure Hockey? Huh.
I think he said he worked because he was like selling goalie pads or something like that.
He was selling some stuff. I thought that was more black market selling. I thought that was illegal selling. I could be wrong. But Cody Eakin, you want to briefly tell us why we should not sign Cody Eakin?
Should or should not?
No, just should not. Let's just be real. We should not do this. But let's just tell us why we should.
He would be our third option because he would be very cheap. He's experienced. Yeah, he's only got 19 points in 115 games, but look at who the hell he's been playing with. But you look at Val Nichushkin and how many points he had before he signed with us, and then he's been blowing it up.
Countless players have that same example of just doing crap with the crap system with a crap team. Put them in the right system, they flourish.
Exactly.
I liked him in Dallas. I'm going to be, I did like him in Dallas. He was okay in Vegas too.
Yeah, and you got to see a lot of him in Dallas, and his career high was in Vegas of 41 points. And then he's got 50 career playoff games. And then so he's got the experience of a Stanley Cup final under his belt because he lost that one against Washington.
Are you saying he has experience at losing?
Right.
Is that what you're saying right now?
Yeah.
But
he's more of a player that's also very, very similar to Logan O'Connor. He's like that pesky. He's got he's really good on the forecheck. I would say that he'd be a cheap buy with his production with the last couple years. I'd say his cheap he would drop to about 1.75 at most, but he's got his face-off percentage is at 56%.
Yeah, I was gonna say the face-off percentage is the thing that stood out for me. He could easily be he's a bottom six guy, and he's got some upside for sure. But if a face-off percentage like that is pretty incredible. Adam, I'm gonna push this one to you. If Cody Eakin was a whiskey,
I'm gonna go for the low-hanging fruit and 2 gingers.
Okay, 2 gingers. That's a whiskey.
That's a whiskey. It's an Irish whiskey. It was actually, sorry, dude. I feel bad now saying it, but it was actually a whiskey marketed to women.
Okay.
But it's really good. It's actually it's less than $20. It's a super smooth, easygoing, can mix well, can stand alone. Throw it on ice. It just is a good staple to have if you're dirt poor.
We're dirt poor right now, so this is becoming the most likely scenario, the Cody Eakin scenario. We're moving on. Before we get on the development camp, one last guy. You know what's coming, Brennan. This guy right here. Possibilities. A lot would have to be retained. What would we give up in return? I know a lot of people want Patty Kane, but my God, we'd have to give up a shit ton, I think. Even when he's got a year left, there's just a lot of moving parts there. I don't want to bet the farm there. I don't want to give up a lot of future stuff because we really need to hang on to some future assets.
Let's turn the whiskey on this one first.
Oh, let me tell you this.
Not on a drink suggestion on what he thinks about it.
Well, look, Johnny Tays. Well, let me give you a quick rundown. Johnny Tays. Johnny Tays is a gold medal winner. He's been the captain of Chicago for 3 Stanley Cup championships. The guy was a born leader. Okay, he was. I listened to an interview with Kyle Okposo on Spittin' Chicklets talking about Johnny. He played with Johnny Tays, and then his school. I forgot the school he played at. They never had a captain. Yeah, he said they never had a captain. And he said the coach was like, everybody, look at this guy right here. And he's pointing at Johnny Tays to say, Matt, you need to be like this guy. Johnny Tays has always been a leader his whole life. He's scored some great points. He's had some health issues and stuff. He's been coming back through. Something to maybe keep an eye out on. Maybe why you might be hesitant on that, but also why you might get him at a little cheaper price because of the guy could easily be a 2C on any team, in my opinion, and leadership, knows what it takes to win. plays with the right guys and he's healthy, I think it'd still do easily get 50, 60 points. My opinion, playing with the right guys, which would be better than anybody we've mentioned before. Now, I know price is an issue. What is it going to cost? These things. Adam, thoughts, Johnny Tays. First, your thoughts on, that possible move, and then please compare him. What kind of whiskey would Johnny Tays be?
The thought process is straight to the whiskeys, and it is actually right along the same line. You would love to have him. Why would you not want him? But what are you willing to give up to get him? Can you get him in there? Blanton's, easy to go with the Blanton's. Blanton's is hard to get. Its retail value is only like $49, $59. Secondary market, it's twice that. You have to give up a lot to get them, or you have to have the right strings to get them.
Damn.
So it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, absolutely. Do you want some Blantons on your shelf? Absolutely. What are you willing to pay for it? What are you willing to give up? Can you get to the liquor store at 5 a.m., 3 hours before they open because you know a guy? So yeah, absolutely. Love them. Get them. Can we? That's, I guess, the big question. How would you pull off that?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, Chicago would have to retain a shit ton, like we talked about earlier, Brandon. Big percentage, like you said, 80, 90%. I mean, which they can do. That's no problem. But
there comes a point where it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's my point also. And then the last year kind of there's other things that kind of disturb me a little bit too, is well, on top of what I'm going to say is that there's a such thing as too much leadership in a locker room. And I mean, we know that you've got Mac, you've got Ranton, you've got EJ who doesn't wear a letter, but we all know he's a leader. And then you know that you have Cale Makar, who's a very quiet leader, and yeah, right. And then also, the obvious is Landy, but
obviously,
and there's a such thing as having too much leadership in the locker room, and I've run into it in my own beer league locker rooms that there's just too much leadership. So,
don't think there would be a great fit. You think there could be a little bit of issues? You don't think Johnny Tays can say, "Hey guys, I'm not wearing a letter"?
It would be an adjustment
by Johnny Tays.
Yeah, they would strip him of all the letters because they wouldn't give.
Well, yeah,
and to give him an A would just be insane.
They won't.
And then
only injuries. Yeah,
and then that's great. He's got 3 Stanley Cups, all that fun crap, and for to Chicago to retain $88 million to $9 million would be asking quite a bit. And then the last year of news, if anyone's been following it with the Kyle Beach situation, is you think he didn't know anything? I hate to bring that up, but you really think that Johnny Tays didn't know a fucking thing about that whole situation and didn't care to bring it up to Quenneville or any of the people above him?
I don't know about. I mean, look, until that's one of those things. That's some murky waters that
I know.
Until it's brought up, though, but it can be brought up for sure. It's a conversation, but until it's brought up to where we know for a fact. I mean, it's what is it? Innocent, until proven guilty kind of situation.
But as a captain in a beer league, for God's sakes, I knew everything that was going on in that goddamn locker room. You don't think that these guys spend more time together, that they don't know everything about each other, and that they don't know that everything was going on with each other? He had to know fucking something.
Maybe not. I mean, it's tough to say, but that's where this comment.
And I'm not trying to drag him down. It's just I'm trying to say something's wrong with his character right there.
Well, if he doesn't know, then I would say nothing is wrong. I say he is the captain of character, but that's, like I said, that's some murky water there for sure. And
anyone who's involved in that time period, it's murky.
Yeah, it's murky. It's murky, but I mean, it stays murky until you're
proven it.
Yeah. Exactly. But Are you interested in this deal at all?
In him? Well,
Yes.
I mean, if we could afford it, yeah. But
What number would make it worth it for you? Under what number?
Under 69.
Right as I'm taking a goddamn drink.
Yeah. No, I mean with him, Adam. I mean, like he's making like 10 point whatever million there.
10.5.
So, but
he'll be a UFA next summer.
He's on the last year of his contract. So really, what this means is the way we would get this done essentially is we trade some, a prospect or two, or some picks, whatever it takes to get him. Chicago would have to retain.
Have any picks to trade.
We have nothing. We're talking about 2027 first overall. Okay. With Chicago, they'll still be rebuilding by then. The way they're making moves, they'll still be rebuilding by 2035. So it's fine. They might be interested in that. The way that guy's been making,
they have a nursery full of kids. They're just training right now.
They've got 3 or 4 year olds hitting the ice. Have you seen Chicago's development camp right now? 5-year-olds, dude, 5-year-olds. So yeah, I mean, look, I think they would do it. I think I would love to see it again. I've said it about making the necessary trades just to get Kadri. I do not want to bet more future prospects because that's something you always have to still keep in mind. You got to have some stuff down the pipeline, man. We got to keep that. So it really would just depend. I'm interested in it. Don't know how likely it is, but it's worth the conversation.
Yeah. I love Dater to death. It's just I think it's an outlier and it's very unlikely.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the fact that him and Patrick Kane will probably get moved this year is, I think, pretty likely. Where?
Well, yeah, but
we'll figure it out. New York Rangers for Patty Kane, maybe. We'll see.
I don't know if their cap is kind of in a very similar situation to ours.
It's different, but they didn't re-sign Ryan Strome. They got some guys that I think they would trade that would make that also retaining. Chicago's got to retain salary, I think, regardless on that either to make either move.
They have only $1 million left.
Do they?
Yeah,
they're going to be trading. I mean, Capo Cacao is probably going to go, so that's a couple mil off, and then, like I said, retaining salary. Though, either way, I can see that, but Johnny Taze is just it's a curious conversation for me. But we'll leave it there. In the murky water that is Johnny Taze. Let's get to development camp real quick here. You were there, Brennan. Mm-hmm. You took some video. One of the guy we know, he had a few games with the Avs. He dusted his skates last season. First goal against the Carolina Hurricanes. This gentleman right here, Benjamin Myers, came over. Looks the part, physical, like you said in the video, just with that group of young guys, those group of guys in the camp, it just kind of stood out above all. He looks like he's played a couple of NHL games. Did he? My memory is not serving me right now. Did he win the Hobie Baker finalist?
He was a finalist, I believe.
Finalist. Okay, so obviously a great college player as well. Physical, he's got quick shot, out skating. How did he look in camp?
Man among boys.
Yeah,
that's actually what I said in my article. That he just looked like he didn't fit, as in terms of he was too good.
Gotcha.
But with the amount of draft picks that we actually had there or signed players were half the amount of what we normally would. So there was like 29 players that were invited. And only I think 11 of them were draft picks or signs that we had. The rest were invited.
Gotcha.
Which I got to see a couple of them, including Cale Makar, and he's not as strong, or not Cale Makar, Taylor Makar.
Yeah,
he's not as strong as I thought he would be. He's kind of weak.
You would hope you'd have more of the genes.
Yeah, but he's also a forward.
Yeah.
So he's I don't know, I'm not too sure about his history or anything like that, but he wasn't as strong on the edges and he was weak on his stick, and He just didn't look as strong, but that's a very large shadow casting over him.
Yeah, and development camp is what it is. It's development camp. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just one of these things. We take a look at guys. The guys are coming in there for a skate. It could be a nerve-wracking experience for the people there. But I would expect a guy like Ben Myers to stand out. He is surely a shoe-in. You would hope for to a starting lineup, good bottom six guy for the Avalanche next season. So good to see him out there. Good to see him dominating as he should. It would not be good news if he wasn't a standout guy. So good to see that. You also made a point on Danila Zaravalov. Defenseman, 5th round pick, 2018. I just have it. Did you just put in all caps shitty skater? Did I read that correctly?
Essentially.
Okay.
I'll call him my boss for professional purposes, but he asked me to take a look at him because he's like, I don't know anything about this guy, and you need to take a look at him.
He wanted you to highlight him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's like, you need to look at this guy, and Ben Tardif.
I was going to say, yeah, he's my other guy I was going to bring up. But really for you, not too impressive, just kind of under the radar.
On the edges. And so like if you look in the video that I shot there, they're on he's very hesitant to go on his edges. And I know they're working on outside edges, and outside edges are the hardest thing to work on. And I talk from experience. It's been almost a decade that I've been working on skating, and I still can't get them really well. So, but it would make him weak going into the corners. I think he would be easily to get pushed off and off the puck, and it's just corner battles would be hard for him in general.
So not too promising right now for him.
I mean, he'll be an offensive force if he's in the open ice, but beyond that, I corner battles and like what we expect from like EJ and all those. You're not going to see that type of stuff from him.
Yeah, and you don't get a lot of open ice in the NHL, buddy, unless you create it yourself, like a Kel McCarr, like a Bowen Byram, like a Sammy G. So,
and like the one video I found of him on a rush and in the KHL, it's like, yeah, but that's KHL, you know, it's not as good of talent there.
Yeah, 100%. Ben Tardif, last kind of guy you mentioned, is like only player with the AHL contract coming in. Pretty decent skater, decent passing ability. You said you wrote, keeps his head up. He's kind of aware. He was, popping some passes, making some plays. He started with the ECHL, right? And then did he come in the AHL for about 15 games there? Did he make any impact when he came into the Eagles team?
He didn't make any impact at all, and
well, that's positive.
It was his first year.
Yeah.
So and so the fact that he got called up was something impressive for him from the Grizzlies, but he tore it up when he was down at the Grizzlies.
Right.
So, when he came out of the queue for his first year and God, I can't remember how many points he had. He had quite a few, but
yeah.
I
would say, is he a guy that's you think would start with the Eagles next year?
If he does really well in camp, yeah, he'll do really well. But he would be your bottom six forward.
Yeah, type of guy.
I may see him a lot if I, end up going up there. So,
gotcha. One last question on Dev Camp, really. How did our boy Chris Mormaine let us do, man? How did
I actually got to talk to him. Yeah.
So tell me something about what you talked to him about and how did he look out there?
He looks strong. He's a strong skater for his size. He's actually only about my size, about 5'8", 5'10". And can you guys hear me better?
I hear you fine.
Yeah, because Elise was saying she can't hear me. So,
did she?
Yeah.
What? Elise, are you? I mean, Damn, calling people out tonight, Elise. Jesus, calling Brandon out? I hear he's in my ear.
She's always the most vocal, right? But
I wish, yeah. I mean,
I don't know, but
gotta lay down the law sometimes. I mean,
he was he had a strong stick. I mean, he's 18. He's going to put on weight, so he's going to grow some more. He's going to put on a couple more inches, and
we'd all like to put on a couple more inches. Am I right?
Right.
Adam, am I right?
And
he doesn't seem like he needs more inches.
I happened to be sitting and on the benches next to one of the DMVR people with Megan from DMVR.
Yeah.
And the PR people came over and they're like, "Who do you want? We're going to have Chris Romaine and someone else." And they said, "Oh, you can come in and talk to them." And so I got pulled into do a media availability for the first time ever and nearly threw up.
Dude, did you throw up on Chris? Can we break the news here? Did you puke on Chris?
Almost. But I asked him about his development and his plans, and he said that he's got I believe, if I remember right, he knew what the coaches were looking at, and they were going to tell him what he needed to work on and things like that. So,
gotcha. Kind of the cliches. I'm going to get better. I'm going to get stronger over the offseason. I might go do blah, blah, blah. And yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, he was very well spoken for an 18-year-old.
Cool. Well, good to hear. He was our one of two signings in a draft.
Right. Oh, and the other one wasn't even there. So
no, he's not there. No.
He had visa issues coming that quick.
I'm sure our boy Putin had something to do with that. We'll see. Mikhail Maltsev will end it here, gentlemen. Mikhail Maltsev. Adam, I'm going to throw this one to you first. Okay, he's a guy. Made a trade. Traded, I believe, Ryan Graves for him. Did okay. I mean, look, he didn't put up many points and anything with the Avalanche, but whenever I saw him, he skated. He was a hard worker. He easily looked like he'd be a fourth line guy with a little bit of skill set to him. Maybe I'm saying that he doesn't have the points to really, prove that, but I don't know. He does seem he has a little bit about him. I do like the signing. We signed him to a 1-year deal. It's a 2-way contract, so that's not much money either way. He destroyed it with the Eagles. He had 48 points in 56 games for our AHL club, the Eagles. I think he did pretty good. I think he had 4 goals in the playoffs, 2 tied for second on the team in the playoffs for them last year. So he can score. It's just whenever he probably plays a higher role, better role, more offensive role with an AHL club than he would with the NHL. So it's transitioning that game over. We need you to be more defensive. He looks a pretty good defensive forward as well. We signed him to a 1-year. If Mikhail Maltsev was a whiskey, Adam, he's a guy you can kind of pass in on, and he doesn't have to wow you. Maybe he could come in and do a job if necessary. If you're kind of at your limit, maybe you could pull him out of the back cabinet, the cabinet you don't want to talk about anymore. It's got cobwebs on it. You've tried to ignore the cabinet, but you can't let go of the bottle. You can't let go. You re-sign the bottle for 1 year. What's your idea?
I'm afraid to say this because it's almost derogatory, but a staple that serves as a filler, and again, another good all around. Some people hate it, some people love it. It does its job. Jim Beam.
Jimmy
Beam. Any of its lineup, you can hate it all you want, but it gets the job done. And again, it's a well-rounded. I drink it neat, but people throw it as a good mixer. It's got the white label, and if you want, stay with the company. You have the black label, the double oaked. Back to that, you have the rye. You have the so I mean, you can go Jim Beam all day long with this guy. Love it or hate it.
I was going to say Canadian Club, but I didn't know if that was an insult.
Yeah, I don't see Canadian. I'm gonna stay with the Jim Beam. You haven't swayed me.
Stay with the Jim Beam. At least in the Midwest, we call that the junk drawer. It has everything you need when you need it. Exactly. He's the kind of guy you pull out the junk drawer, baby. You pull him out of the junk drawer, Brennan. Get him out there, buddy. I mean,
He
I
feels
think
the
he'll
ice
spend time with you. I think he will. I think he for sure will.
Well, I mean, he'll tear it up, and he'll get more ice time in Loveland right now
Oh yeah.
because they've completely demolished the team, and they got to rebuild the team as of right now. So they need to make some more signings, but he's going to
It's a
be a
signing.
top 6 forwards right now.
Yeah, top 6 for them. Depth, injury call up, maybe first or second call up, maybe for the Avalanche going in the next year.
I think Bowers is going to get a lot more time there too.
I hope to God we see Shane Bowers in an Avalanche jersey. I mean, Martin Kaut would be nice. Shane Bowers and Martin Kaut have been playing for 97 years. Okay,
Kaut needs a change of scenery.
They're 350 years old. Okay, and what's going on here? Let's get something going here. We're talking about a couple first round picks. Let's get it going here, boys. This is the season. We've said that for the last 45 seasons. When the Quebec Nordiques were still playing, we were like, "Where's Shane Bowers? Where's Martin Kaut?" Okay, that's just how long we've been waiting for these guys, gentlemen. I said it was going to be a 20-minute show. I was obviously right. It's 56 minutes into it. This happens every time. My wife is always unhappy about it as well. But
nice
these are things
to join us, right?
Yeah, it's very nice of her. Yeah, real nice of her to join us tonight. I told her I wouldn't do a sexual joke towards her at the end of the show. I said I would respect her and her boundaries. Okay, so we must do that tonight. Either way, she's hurting for squirting. Okay, and it's happening. Okay, let's edit that out. I don't know how to edit it, but we can edit that.
We're live. We can't.
Oh,
we'll fix it.
See, I don't know. Yeah, we'll fix it in post. Yes, yeah, we'll change some stuff. Gentlemen, Adam, thank you for your knowledge and all that is hockey and that is whiskey. We appreciate you joining in, adding to the show. Adam, we love you.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Thank you. Brennan, plug your stuff again before we head out. Where can the people find you? Where can they read upon you? Your ins and your outs and your ins.
So Avs Territory on Twitter, Eurolanche on Facebook, since I'm the social media manager for them. And then right now I'm writing for Full Press Hockey on an intern basis. So hopefully a couple more articles. We're going to see where it goes.
Beautiful. Good to hear you doing good, buddy. Elise, I'm glad it lasted longer. You're late. Don't care about your kids. You just throw a freaking TV screen in front of them and just let them just get dumber and dumber as the seconds tick on, like I'm doing with my son right now. I don't even know what's going on up there. I'm gonna be honest with you. He could be out. I have no idea. That's the kind of parenting that you have to have in a show like this. We're changing lives, okay?
I was wondering where she was at the beginning of the show. I was like,
yeah, I'm like, where are you? What are you doing? Anthony was here. Anthony's repping. Don't worry. But we're happy you made it. We don't want to give you too much shit. You're a good mother. You're better than I.
If she's not here, did the show even happen?
Right?
For the last 20, it did.
Yes.
You can ignore the first, 38. It was all garbage. That's good promotion. So, gentlemen, we appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Time to go have some fun with how long I can stay up. It was a good show. It was fun. It's a little slow right now. Things will pop off eventually. We'll see what happens with the Kadri situation. And Johnny Taze, Brennan? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. No. Okay. No. I'm sorry.
No.
All right.
No
okay.
former Chicago
Milano's cookies?
Talk,
Milano's cookies?
Yes.
Milano's cookies? Okay.
Yes,
Milano's
I'll go
cookies.
for that.
All right. We'll do cookies. Cookies instead.
Pepperidge
That's
Farms
it, gentlemen.
remembers.
Pepperidge Farms always remembers. Like the stuff, subscribe it if you want to. Leave negative comments if you like. You got to do that. Please do. My brother's in town.
Boo.
Sad face. Well, I'm glad you have a good relationship with your brother, obviously, with the sad face. I hope you guys work on that and continue your journey. We love you, Elise, Anthony, those for jumping in. Boof. Appreciate you, brother. Let's get the hell out of here. Here's a little roster version for you.